Welcome back to the LCS Challengers League. I'm Bazell, joined by Kangas and Cubby yet again. Likely heroes here after an incredible game number 1 from TSM Challengers. Want to go over that game a little bit before we dive into the fun that is the halftime segment here, but it was a little bit of a back and forth. There was a little bit of scrap going on, Kangas. I think it was a lot of fun to see this, but good stuff from TSM Challengers to close it down.
I want to give extra props to Draku, who I think played incredibly well in the laning phase. They were able to get a lead early on down there, and then, yeah, like you said, it was a little back and forth. There were a couple moments in the dragon fight. I think it was like the second dragon, maybe the third, when Doxa gets knocked up, and then Immortals, they showed that they are very comfortable in these 5v5 fights. There were a couple moments like that throughout the game, but still good on TSM Challengers to equalize on a lot of the plays, capitalize when ult cooldowns were down, flash cooldowns were down, and then have a pretty good way to close out the game.
Yeah, Cubby, anything pulled away differently than what Kangas has, or any focuses for IMT?
I love to see TSM showing something different. I think IMT really tried to match what they were doing, but I just ended up losing around the bot plays. Credit Svenskeren for having some really nice timers in places. Big credit goes to Balulu for that TP top, but eventually, you know, bot in that 2v2 for Wild Turtle and Draku, they went out, and that's great to see, as they haven't had a ton of time playing together. Yes. Good to see them come out on top.
True that. And we'll see if they can get a comeback from IMTC going, or at least get a little bit more of that scrappiness going. But now, let's go ahead and crest over into a halftime segment that I just started calling Challengers Safari, which is going to be a little bit of fun. I'm going to walk you through the safari of the Challengers League. And I have
an outfit change. Do we need like get a hat or like any kind of like boots or anything?
You know, we're not on the range, so different hat maybe. I don't have a safari hat, so maybe, you know, we'll work on it. We're workshopping it. But the idea here is that typically I've reached out to players and figured out what their favorite exotic animals are. And we'll see if you guys can guess whose animals match what players. I've got 2 players from each side, and our first animal on the bat. Are you guys ready?
Okay, so, no. Before we do it again, are we buzzing in?
No.
This is a competition.
We don't have buzzers. We don't have the money for
buzz. That. We can do a clap buzz.
Buzz.
Hey, hold on. Is anyone's favorite player a bee?
No.
Trying to throw.
Is that an exotic animal? I don't know if that's an exotic animal.
I mean, based on their population decline, about to be, yeah.
Oh, we're about to get into that. That's okay.
Save the bees, everybody. FlyQuest, bring it back. We gotta save them.
Kangas did a lot more research than I have, so you know.
But he hasn't seen the bee movie, so I feel like he's baseless argument. Baseless argument. Yeah. All right, let's move into the Challengers Safari here. We have our first animal. This one might not be exotic per se, but it is in our hearts. All right, our first animal is a dog.
Oh. What?
It's just
okay,
you're saying
that
a
bee
dog.
Isn't an exotic animal, but you pull up a
you know
dog?
what? This is what happens when players don't respond to me when I ask them what their favorite exotic animal is. All right, Kangas, you want to get to the brass tacks here?
Do we have a certain type of dog?
It is a certain type of dog. I ain't gonna tell you what kind of dog it is. It's just a dog.
Is this their dog? Did the player send in a picture of their dog?
Not,
okay.
Nope.
Well, I will say,
it is not.
It's my job to be an unbiased caster. I feel like I do a pretty good job of that. But whoever's player this is, I'm going to be very biased towards them because dogs are lit and better than cats.
I'm gonna go one level beyond that, Cubby. If any player doesn't have dog on their favorite list of animals,
actively hate on
no
them.
longer
What about cats?
a fan.
I mean, we already know
cats,
that the basis is built. That semi-pro is built on our cats.
Honestly, the answer should be every player. That's my answer. Every player should have dog.
We're gonna move this. We're gonna move the segment along. I'm just gonna go Haunter.
Oh, you're gonna move it. Okay.
Yeah, I am.
Oh man, no, you're wrong. It's Balulu, who did not respond, did not get me his favorite exotic animal, but this is a Swedish hound, and he's from Sweden. Second of all, I was doing research. Apparently, in an interview posted by Closer in like 2019, he said that he's a dog person. So I just put all the context clues together, and I made it work. All right, we make it work.
How can I not have noticed this was a Swedish hound?
It's not actually called a Swedish hound. I forget the name. It's very long, but it's a beautiful dog, and I was like, yeah, this is cool.
You should have noticed the grasp of the white flowers. Those can actually only grow in Sweden.
Yeah, can't believe you
missed out on those
that.
context
I can't
clues,
believe
man.
you missed that.
I'm
All
finished,
right.
so I'm not sure. Yeah, I haven't been this.
We're gonna move on to the
What's
second one.
that state behind you in your background? You're Finnish?
Kind of sad. Kind of sad. All right.
okay.
Second
there.
animal. This one. I'm a dragon biaser.
Oh!
I love dragons. So whenever this player told me their favorite animal was dragon, I told them I'd make it work. So
Did you tell them
who-
that dragons are not real?
no.
All right.
Buzz.
Buzz.
Daksha. I think it's Daksha.
think it's
I feel like
Daksha.
Daksha's gonna be the type of guy that would list dragon as his favorite example.
Cubby, are you saving?
I think it's Draku.
Okay. Well, Cubby is the right one. And Kangas, you are unfortunately wrong.
What did
Man,
you
to my
base that
very
on, Cubby?
favorite
How
thing.
did you know?
So, first of all,
Those context clues are crazy.
yeah, it's crazy. He has drag in his name.
yeah, Australia, known for its
No way.
dragon
You know,
population.
Yes,
The
yes.
desert.
But
the
his
desert. I
name
should've-
is Dragon. So, like, you come on, man. Like, you go with it,
You know
right?
what?
Kangas-
You- that is a good point.
You know, like when you're in second grade and they hand you your first ever multiple choice test, and you know the teacher tells you, if you don't know the answer, that's okay. You can just guess. Use some of the context clues to help you guess. Right?
Sure.
You missed out on that lesson.
You
was-
totally missed out.
This is where Joshi would make a homeschool joke if you
Yeah,
saw the
exactly,
broadcast.
exactly.
You missed a great opportunity, Cubby.
I will say though,
I wasn't gonna go that far.
We do have a
I didn't need
real
to.
animal. All right, I told him I'd make the dragon where he also gave me a secondary just in case, a great white shark or a kangaroo, one of the two, because he's from Australia. So
yeah.
Well,
you know, it goes with the two. So, all right, we're going to move on from the dragon, that very, very ugly dragon. And we're going to
Ugly?
move forward.
How dare you.
The picture I got did not do it justice. All right, did not do it justice.
Don't
we're going to move
make
on to
fun
the
of the
next
animal. Make fun of the camera, all right?
The next animal on our list is a capybara.
Let's go.
Who in this 10 players that we have, favorite animal is a capybara. Capybara.
Chad, he's a memer.
It's Chad.
I'm gonna go
Chad.
Wixie. I feel like
You go
Wixie.
Wixie?
Who's the
You
memer?
look at
Okay.
a photo of him and you get that wholesome vibe. Capybara's vibe
Okay,
with everybody.
okay.
I've never seen Wixie not vibe with somebody before.
Well, I'm gonna say, Kangas, you're wrong. It's Wixie. So Wixie doing really, really great in
That's what I
terms
said.
of loving that favorite. I don't know what you're talking about. Cubby, do you want the point? Since I'm now
Michelle's
giving
just
out
not
points
giving
here.
it to me because
Wow.
he hates me. All right, I understand. I understand.
It is Wixie though.
Let's
It is
go.
the man that gets along with everybody. But gotta give that little smiley capybara there. So we're gonna move on to our last one now, guys. Another one I didn't get an answer on, so I just made something up. So bear with me here. I need you guys to be prepared. There's going to be a bit of a jump scare here. If you're scared of things with more than
Should I get really close to my monitor?
or at 8 legs, be ready. All right. So
This is me close
you
to my
probably
monitor.
shouldn't get that close to it. I tried to choose a cute one. All right. I tried to choose a cute one, but it's a spider. So
Sven's
what
Garen, you dog.
Animal favorite
There was an
of a
Elise.
player here.
Elise was banned first by IMT against Svenskaren. Svenskaren, you dog. You sneaky dog.
Cubby hit the nail on
you.
the head. I was thinking
Context
about throwing
clues,
up
baby.
like a very scary spider. I was like, nah, I can't do that. I will get scared here. So I chose the
I've
nice
never seen
cuddly
one colored like that. Like it
I
doesn't
don't know
look
if it's
cuddly.
real. I don't know if
want
it's
to cuddle.
real. honestly.
That's, wait, what's
I will
Sven's
say-
nationality? That's
That
like
is-
the. Oh, I'm blanking. Wait, I'm gonna make a joke here, Cubby. You go first, though.
I'm gonna
I
make
will
a joke
say-
here,
It's gonna be a
Cubby.
banger.
That spider isn't one that I see and I just like want to like do one of these. So I'll give you that I'll give you that,
Yeah,
myself.
you didn't
It's
know
a
that's
positive.
the Danish 8-legged lady.
Gave
Clearly.
me a jump scare
Oh,
with that
no.
spider. That was a quick tweet. Wow.
That's really fast. But yeah, so I chose the spider for Sven because it is his most played animal champion. Did get a response, so hey, you never know. But it is nice to see the favorite animals around the league and in the series as a whole. So thank you so much for coming with me through the Challenger Safari. But now we got to get into the nitty gritty for this second game of this second series because IMT Challengers, they got a lot of comeback to do here, Cubby.
I gotta say, I think that look from TSM, I mean, it threw me off a little bit. This is a team that has played around Hauser for the entire split. Again, He is leading his role and is second in the league in gold diff at 15, around 1,000 gold at the 15-minute mark. And the fact that they're like, all right, we're going to blind use Scion so we can counterpick with Doxa and mid, and then fully commit to playing around this Ashe Varus. That's a very different look from what we've seen from TSM, and one that they made look good in that game, and I want to see what happens now in game 2. Even more curious now.
Well, guess what? Your curiosity is about to be piqued because we are getting into the draft for game number 2. Let's get to it.
Thank you, Mazel, for keeping us all entertained while the players got ready. Also for outing to the entire audience and since Garen ghosted your DM and left you on red. But that aside, we'll see if he's able to do.
He wasn't the only one, too, you know.
Apparently, Mazel's struggling to get any
you know
answers.
what? We're 1 week before Valentine's Day. I feel like we need to show some love to all of our compatriots here. So, get back to Mazel.
You didn't even give me the point.
You know what?
For guessing correctly that Wixie's favorite animal is a capybara. So I don't think I owe it.
I'm gonna DM Mazel right now.
Oh, cute.
DM Mazel right now.
Cute. All right. Well, let's get into the game then. Here, Cubby. Immortals Challengers on the back foot. They were 1 game up in the standings over TSM Challengers, but these are still the bottom 2 Challenger teams so far in the tournament. A win here would keep them above TSM. A loss would unfortunately mean that TSM Challengers are now overtaking them.
And I think that, again, both of these teams, there are Challengers lineups that have the worst records so far. I think that we have seen some decent moments out of each, but I think a lot of it's been a theme of, not able to convert early game leads. Let's keep in mind that IMT, Wixie was legendary on Zeri at a game 15 minutes and 30 seconds in, and they lost that game too. So TSM not alone.
Yep.
You weren't casting that game, man. I won. That was not good. That was tough.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, fun. That's one way to put it. But I think that, for each of these teams, I do want to see, how cleanly can we close out these games. I think that TSM, they had a few mishaps. That double TP bot was a great play by Immortals. But after that, TSM, they were clean in terms of how they were able to close things out. I want to see if they can do that again in this game. It's something I'm looking for out of both of our lineups to just improve throughout the season of Challengers.
A lot of it was also around Draku's piloting of the Ashe. Gets it again in game number 2 here now on the blue side. And it's actually Immortals Challenger that ban out a lot of these junglers. They are trying to pinch that pool heavily.
And already a focus on the bot lane too. Of course, we do have the junglers pinched as Svenskeren had 3 champions taken away from him. And might get his hands on a 4th that he likes. I will say, though, Chad does like to respond to Wukong with Viego historically, a champion that we have seen Chad have a lot of success on. So we have a choice here for IMT on this 3rd pick. Do we secure a bot lane? Or do we answer with jungle? Because TSM, they also have the option here. If they wanted to take something like Nautilus, I think Ashe Nautilus is a pretty strong lane. You cannot take cleanse into that lane. Like, you kind of have to take heal. Even though, like, you're against Ashe, it's tricky which summoner spell your marksman is going to take. So it's an option we've seen TSM play quite a bit. If not, could just see Ashe support. And if not, we can see a counter to top, as that's the Fiora for Haunter, man.
All right, this is the expectation we had coming into this series, is TSM piloting a composition that focuses on the top half of the map. And we got Chad, not on the Viego, but on the Graves, still a carry jungler.
Chad loves his Graves. It's one of the champions that he made a name for himself on very early on when he joined 100 Thieves Academy, subbing in back in 2021. It was a solo queue pick of his, and he has a matchup that he feels comfortable with, taking that into the Wukong. We'll see how much use he can get out of it, as we have 2 junglers that are stacking up armor for a passive. Good times. Well, I guess True Grit. I don't want to get too specific here. Take it away, Kangas.
All right, let's catch up on, again, expectations coming into this one. Because Immortals Challengers, they have the option to play through a couple different lanes, but more so this is probably going to turn into the Chad show. We went into the day, pretty much every day that Immortals Challengers plays, highlighting Chad as a player, little bit of a psychopath in the best way that we can possibly frame that, because he will be aggressive and he will try and play for himself. And I think that this start of a comp that can kind of play around that, like Varus doesn't need a ton of resources himself. He still can provide some backup for a carry jungler instead. And then outside of TSM, this is Haunter on a carry. This is exactly the type of champion that I was expecting him to pull out today.
I cannot wait to see him try and pilot this, as we have TSM actually taking away 2 picks that are setting up for a Caitlyn in the bot lane, being frank. as those are the 2 picks that are played in the double marksman, and then 2 bans from IMT that are setting up an Azir. It was that through the draft. Yeah. Not surprised it's being locked in by Balulu, but I would not be surprised to see Caitlyn here from TSM and put that Ashe support, go for the double ranged, as both those hook champions could break that. And then mid, we will see Doxa's champ pool again, been slimmed down quite a bit. Victor is an option, so we'll see if he goes for that. Could be. Jhin works too.
The solo laners for TSM Challengers are both getting counter picks here, though.
Doxa
It's
Zoe.
an interesting focus for the pick priority of Immortals Challengers.
Doxa Zoe.
Zoe locked it
Doxa
for
Zoe.
Doxa.
He loves the Zoe, man. It's one of his best champions we've seen from Doxa throughout his time climbing the ranks to get the TSM Challengers as well. So Azir, you have a lot of pressure early, and I would love the Jhin pairing with this, is with the bubbles and with the paddle stars. That's a lot of range and a lot of poke again from TSM in this game.
I mean, you set up an Ashe arrow, you set up a bubble, you set up a deadly flourish. There's so many things that can layer on top of each other. Even the Wukong can close distance relatively quickly and get involved in that as well.
I think it's going to be
scary stuff. MF?
Yeah, it's MF.
MF support, right?
Yes.
And then the Varus as the AD carry farming, you would assume.
Yes. So MF, you pair up well with Varus, but also it's 3 immobile members on TSM. So you can jump forward with the ult, but of course you have to return to that location. So MF actually brings a lot of value with the slow and with the ultimate. But with that said, I think I like TSM setup a little bit better, just given the fact that they have the extreme poke with the Zoe, Jhin, and the Ashe. But what really sets why I really like TSM's comp, Haunter on this Fiora, he should be able to win the sides. So if you're winning the side lane while you're in the poke war, it does pressure the team that's losing the side to make something happen. I think IMT has some tools to make things happen. But if Haunter gets going in that side lane, it's going to be a pressure cooker for IMT, because they're going to have to do something on the group of TSM, or else they just lose the side lane, lose the base.
And I just see more tools for TSM to make things happen in the 4v4. Not only in the poke, but also we highlighted the bubble, the Ashe arrow, the deadly flourish, the Wukong engage. On Immortal side, it's like they got Varus ult and they got Azir ult. Those are long cooldowns, and Azir's got to put himself in kind of harm's way in order to go for that.
I will say, let's see if Svenskeren can cancel the shuffle from Balulu, because that's going to be, it could be very dire for TSM. Balulu's able to pull off those plays. Yep, I know.
Level 1, 5v5, and will it amount to much? Slow lands from Joey. That's a lot of damage in. Are either side going to commit to this? They're just poking each other. They don't have a lot of hard engage level 1, though. Like, there's no Nautilus, there's no Blitzcrank, there's nothing like that. It's just who's able to out-brute force the other with the poke, and right now it's TSM Challenger winning the fight.
Yeah, Ashe wins out on that. I am surprised. Can we have a toggle on gold real quick from our observers by chance? I can't tell if Joey... Okay, Joey actually didn't burn pots, so he didn't buy pots, and now he's going to first base refillable. So it's not as much health in the first part of the lane, but it's a wise economic decision moving forward. Technically, you get max value out of this, you know?
Interesting. I didn't notice that.
He's money-balling. Money-balling League of Legends.
Dragku did get one more proc of the support item, though, so is up 20 gold overall. That's a win for TSM, baby. I mean, I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, we'll see if MF can get any value out of those refillables. Meanwhile, each of our junglers, actually a mirrored clear here. Svenskeren working his way up towards the top side. A return to comfort for the side of TSM, playing through Haunter, who, again, has been laning really in an outstanding manner early in the season.
We got an early invade from Chad in the top half of the map as well. He goes from his buff straight to Svenskeren's buff. And like we had been highlighting before, with the jungle changes, you're not going to get as much XP for this, but you deny that from Svenskeren. And this is unspotted, so Svenskeren will not know that this is happening.
And this is big, because we'll see what Svenskeren does after he clears out the Raptors. It'll tell us a lot if he knows or not, because we see Doxa going for that 2-wave ward on the Raptors, and Chad is not spotted there yet. So when Chad's not spotted there in a minute or two, Svenskeren's going to start sniffing out that something weird is happening. And yeah, you can see him. He was going towards the Wolves. He's like, I changed my mind. My bot lane has priority. I'm going to go play through them, take some of Chad's camps, and answer what Chad has taken on this side of the map.
Very smart breed from Svenskeren, and goes back to what I had said before. I feel like Svenskeren's the type of jungler that can actually, you know, answer, if not take advantage of the way Chad plays the game.
And it's a good ward, too, from Haunter, because that means it protects him as TSM kind of sniffed out the play that Chad went for. We'll see if Svenskeren can get the blue. He's going to get the Gromp for sure, but I think he is going to save his smite in case we have a contest over the crabs. And we'll see what happens after this. He's about to get found.
Yeah, Chad walking up, has the red buff and the blue buff, gets one auto for the slow, but because Doxa has shoved mid, doesn't want to push for much more. Wild Turtle, meanwhile, is actually taking some damage here. The double Comet from Joey and Wixie, so annoying to deal with. As the Jhin and the Ashe, you really are not going to be able to out-poke there.
ADD.
Early roam here from the top lane. Got to be careful, though. Doxa gets him under turret, and is just fine, but ADD is going to link up with Chad. They're just pushing Svenskeren away.
What the hell, ADD? He just went down bot, secured it, Chad. I guess not the first crab. Honestly, like, I would think that they could have used that to contest the second crab if Chad wanted to sack these wolves, but not the case. So it's those a two crab scenario, but it's really cheesy here from ADD as Dox is going to have to flash. And I think, he's just going to be dead.
Kill picked up from Immortals Challenger. ADD hard committing
to
this roam on the map. He's still hanging around.
And he's going to make sure this wave gets in. So that was actually really clever by ADD. Because it does force the TP 100% out of Doxa. And he understands that it's a slow push top. And Svenskeren's not looking to dive him when he returns. So ADD still has his TP up. Can TP top. ADD has completely sacked his wave for this. Or his lane, I should say. For this play. So it will be Haunter taking over in the side lane for sure. Given a lot of the resources that ADD did lose. But it's not like the full wave crashed without him being able to get here. So I don't mind the play from ADD. Like, he knows he's going to lose this matchup in the long haul if Haunter plays it well. So might as well make something happen around the map. And ADD did it.
Yeah, Haunter was trying to freeze the lane, get the slow push going in.
Yeah.
Because he probably assumed ADD was just going to back and then teleport in. But the fact that ADD stuck around means that he gets the full wave. He's down one wave of CS, but he got his mid laner first blood.
That's not at all bad. As, again, Balulu could be the big difference maker in this game. On the Azir, having that ability to shift the terrain and knock these three squishy bot side members of TSM into the side of IMT. Because I still think IMT have more team fight tools. It's just the concern is the poke and then the split push at TSM. Going to be difficult for IMT to deal with as this game moves forward.
And it's going to be the AP misfortune. Let's go! Mazel is furious because now anytime we duo together, I'm only playing this. Now that Joey's played it, Mazel, I know you're listening. It's happening.
Heimer got nerfed. This is what you're moving on to, you know?
We're back to the misfortune.
Just in time for Valentine's Day. We found the new pairing in the bot lane. Oh, boy.
Oh, it's just disgusting. Wild Turtle's going to have to back again.
Some dark tech being cooked up by IMT and Joey. Keep in mind, Joey also played Xerath support. So I don't know what's cooking over there at the IMT camp, but I don't know. Might have to get...
You should know. You were just over there on Friday, apparently.
Well, I was over there. We might have to get Lambo over there to, see what's up if this continues.
The
ADD is in trouble.
Food critic, Haunter, going for the 1v1. This is the potential issue here when you sack your own lane to help out the rest of the map, but ADD gets out with the all-out and the flash, providing enough space for him to get to turret.
Credit to ADD. You played that really nicely. Flash being a big difference maker for him there, prevented that last proc from being taken on his east side of the body. It prevented the heals from coming in, and for TSM maybe thinking about a dive
east
there.
Side, interesting.
Hey, we're using cardinal directions here on the Fjord. I'm trying to level up my cover casting this split, Kangas.
If had traveled due east around the equator.
Not east enough.
Yeah, not. Wasn't least, but
it's
not east.
It's been a while since we cast together, Kangas. I've had to level up.
It really has been, yeah.
So I'm using cardinal directions now.
You know what? The more descriptive you can be, the better. Because, I do have a tendency to sometimes get a little lost here. Zanzer might actually be slightly lost. He wants to go back, but he's stuck in lane now because ADD shows up. Meanwhile, Dragku getting some damage to Joey in the bot lane, trading off some of this poke. We haven't seen a lot of jungle attention down here, honestly. It's just been pressuring each other and seeing who can be the bigger thorn in the side.
I think Svenskeren needs 6 before he comes to this lane. Legitimately, if he comes before 6, I think he just gets one shot by the slows that Varus and F have. So I think Svenskeren, he will have 6 after the Raptors, most likely. but it is currently each jungler working their way up towards this Rift Herald that is about to spawn. I will say Doxa's low and has no TP. So good job from Balulu for making sure that Doxa is a little bit lower. And that's enough because of the top wave being shoved in too. The IMT are going to start this. And Svenskeren is not there and did not get 6 off the Raptor camp. That's significant.
Yeah, it is level 6, ready to fight right now.
Yeah, that's Rift.
So TSM cannot contest this. Well set up from Immortals. It felt like they had an idea of what to do well before it actually happened. Balulu was aggressively trading. ADD got the wave to push in, so Tonser had to TP up there, and Chad was just on the Herald on spawn.
All right, so Svenskeren actually... Svenskeren leached 6 off of mid-wave, so he's going bot because they know that Rift Herald was just taken. But again, because he shows bot, he could have snuck away 1 camp from Chad, potentially. Would have been risky as their bot lane's getting shoved in. He's just going to help kill the wave and get his bot lane a reset. But that's a huge win for IMT as they get the Rift Herald for free. And Chad took the dragon earlier on the map, so there was nothing for TSM to trade. So it's only IMT winning. Good play from them.
Wild Turtle has to back. Draku has to back. This is another wave shoved in now. Wixie's starting to get a CS advantage over Wild Turtle. Doesn't go for a plate. I thought maybe they'd want to stick around and get that extra bit of gold because there's no Herald to reset for. There's no Dragon to reset for, but I suppose they're just going to get the wave shoved in and call that good enough. I'm a little worried right now for TSM Challengers. It feels like the game's getting slightly away from them. The one saving grace is, of course, Hanser. You did highlight that with this composition, having Hanser in a good spot is going to be crucial for their win con. And he is up in CS. He has been getting a little bit of a lead for himself, but oh, the mid lane play from Balulu. Doxa flashing very late right now, and that's enough damage. Chad picks up the kill.
That R from Zoe, it's telegraphed, and Balulu goes to right where Zoe was going to land, scoops mid of the team, and that's an easy one for IMT. And now I join you in your concerns for TSM in this game, Kangas. Chad's debating whether or not he wants to drop the Rift Herald. He's actually going to save it, and Chad's going bot, so keep in mind, Doxa will have TP coming up just shortly, but Svenskaren's showing mid, so because of that mid play, IMT have another free play to make going bot lane. We're going to take another look. Doxa's lane was made hard by ADD, and Chad's just coming in and making it even harder. You called it out, Kangas. He's got a flash.
Oh.
Once this happens, now it could have been answered by Balulu, but the fact that he doesn't flash means there's no flash trade, so if he dies and TSM lose out on the play, aren't able to pick up Balulu's flash. Really well done. We return to live. Looks like Herald is still being debated about whether or not we drop it on the bot side. I say that. Oh, we're back mid. Hold on.
Hanging around. Oh, Doxa again goes for the aggressive ultimate. Chad flashing forward. Doesn't have the damage, though. Without
he can rift, though, if he wants.
Or the collateral damage. Has the Rift Herald. He hasn't dropped it yet. Looks
still
like it's
bot.
still going to be a focus on bot side. Dragon's up in 30. You can drop it in time with the Dragon, so that way you're forcing TSM to answer that.
Good
but
thought.
I mean, honestly, I think that they have both. Oh, Svenskaren's sticking around, though. I thought he was going to back.
Yeah, here we go. I like where your head's at, Kangas. So Chad's going to drop in 15 seconds before Dragon spawns, so not only are they going to get 3 plates off this Rift Herald from the look of things. Okay, no, never mind. And after the changes.
Close to enough damage on Wild Turtle. Actually, this could be huge. Draku doesn't have the ultimate available, but Svenskaren's nearby.
Nice.
Chad jumps in to block the Jhin shots. Of course, execute damage means that a full health Graves will not be taken much from that.
Quiet but smart play from Chad. We will see if Chad feels like he can start up this Dragon. As with Balulu's TP, Doxa could match, but I think that's going to be enough where IMT, you know, they see the bot lane being low for TSM. Have the TP from Balulu. I think they're going to go in and take this with no contest. So, well played again from IMT and from Chad.
And ADD also keeping Hanser under control for right now. Although, as I say, the Grand Challenge is issued. Hanser, he hasn't got the last proc.
Oh, we didn't get it.
Due South. The Due South proc was not hit by the Fiora. And ADD, actually, again, winning out in the 1v1.
He didn't get it. Very close. Okay. Yep. Good night.
All right. Well, as soon as we look at Doxa in the mid lane, it is unfortunately the last time we're going to look at him for a little bit. He's got to go back to base. 25 seconds on the respawn timer, and he is struggling in this mid lane.
And Balulu continues to make his impact felt on this league. As now
Flash,
Turtle.
he's got heal. Actually, no, he should be able to get out of this one just fine. Chad won't quite have enough damage to burst him down. That's just a heal summoner spell.
I know Dox is struggling, but Balulu continues to make a bit, like, his presence felt in NACL. Again, I think maybe the only reason that IMT were able to put a win on the board in their series against AoE on Saturday. And now Balulu, he was given a lot of help from ADD, but look how much he's been able to really make that help hurt when going up against TSM. Like, him taking down mid lane, it's helped bleed the lead into bot lane as Chad's been just hovering in between these two lanes on the Graves. He's even going to walk away with a red buff now. The map's falling apart here for the side of TSM. They're on 3.5k gold.
Yeah, it was a relatively even game up to this point, but the last 2 minutes have seen Immortals Challengers getting a sizable advantage to their corner. 2 dragons now under their belt. They finally broke the first turret. Let's see where Joey and Wixie decide to go, because they have the opportunity to go for a lane swap now, and it looks like they're headed mid lane. Is that is that the equator if we're going like navigational terms? I'm trying to think what we call this.
I feel like we have to go with like ship terms, you know? So we have, you know, the north, south, east, west.
Equator's a ship term, right? Yeah.
No, they're going they're turning port side as they go to the mid lane. I actually don't know what port and starboard are anyway.
At one point I did. I think I don't remember. And Svenskeren might actually get picked off right here.
He's got to head for the hills, I know that.
Oh, flashboard by ADD. Jumping onto him. Marooned on an island. Svenskeren without backup. And no life vests either, so he's taking down Immortals Challenger, picking up a kill and into the Herald.
Yeah, he's lost, and IMT take him out of his misery before he can be stranded for long.
Lost is on Cloud9.
Okay, that's a bad joke. Not that any of these have been any better, but the second Rift will be taken by IMT. As the poke comp from IMT, again, you take this early turret with a lot of these double range bot lanes, you can snowball so easily into the other lanes on the map. Love how Wixie and Joey are mid. I think Azir uniquely side lanes well as a more of a control mage, especially into the Zoe. So by putting Azir in the long lane, you get Zoe in the long lane. That makes Doxa feel even more uncomfortable than what he was in mid. So again, Chad hovering, and IMT is playing this game out very nicely.
All right, what is port side?
I can hear
left.
the keyboard.
Port side is on the left.
Oh, okay.
So
we were
right.
close for red side.
Right. I believe you said port side is where they were rotating to, and
Excellent.
they moved to the left side of the map. So I'll consider that accurate.
I mean, technically, if they keep on taking blue side's map, they always are moving port side.
Ah, you know what? That's a good point.
Yeah, it fits my narrative.
Port south? I don't think that's a thing.
Hold on.
I don't know what the nautical term for the down direction is, but you know Chad's trying to get there. Flashes away. And a lot of respect to the fact that there is a Zoe, there is an Ashe. I know that TSM are struggling, but they have a lot of pick tools still, so Immortals need to be respectful of that, because if they don't give respect, they could easily get picked.
Oh, nice cancel here by ADD.
Up, yeah, he uses it.
Oh, can he get the last one?
On starboard. ADD's tanky. And he does have that heal cut, but Haunter should be able to take this 1v1. All out is used by ADD. He's jumping away.
Yeah.
He's out of there.
ADD, I gotta say, ADD's been having a nice game. I know that he's in a losing matchup, but he's behind. But think about the impact that he had on mid, how much he was able to pick up from that wave top, and now what he's doing to neutralize Haunter in the side lane. Because look at this rotation from IMT. They're flipping the map to play for this dragon, and now Haunter's in trouble. Great patience from Balulu.
I don't know if Balulu wins this, though. Haunter actually has a
He's
lot
another
of...
vital.
Okay, never mind. Didn't get the vital. Had the Divine Sunder, but it was not enough. Balulu, knowing the limits of the champion, it gets the 1v1.
And Balulu cashes in. It was really nice to wait out on the riposte, but still, that play's opened up by ADD. He's done so much to open up the map for IMT in this game, and I know that ADD, you know, when I was over at the IMT camp, like, the coaches made sure they're like, guys, ADD, this guy's really smart. Like, he's helping us so much with, you know, just strats and ideas. And to see what he did on this Cassante, sitting mid for 2 waves when you're level 4 is a crazy thing to do. But it's really made this game 10 times easier for IMT. And ADD, he didn't lose practically anything for that.
And now after that play, even though he doesn't, you know, he doesn't go down, they don't get Haunter either. The fact that Balulu got Haunter, and then they chunked out Svenskeren right before the Dragon. Svenskeren was about half health. He decides, all right, I'll just go for my camps instead. This puts Immortals Challenger on Soul Point through the extended play, because of course it's never about just the kill. It's always about what happens after, and what's happening now is not looking good for Haunter. No summoner spell to get out of this one. Does have the teleport available, so he could back and reset onto the map, but there wasn't enough of a follow-up. Haunter is fine. He reads the play, gets out of there.
IMT, I mean, kind of like what we were setting up for TSM in the last game. Let's see how cleanly IMT can close this out, because it's been a very clean game from IMT so far. Because we got the cinematics here on the last one. The World's 2022 scoop and score for Balulu. Not bad.
Good look. Good look for the mid laner coming in from Turkey for Immortals Challenger. He's been breathing some life.
He's been damn good.
That is struggling. They were coming into the weekend 4-8. They lost game 1 of this series. But I think Balulu on the Victor was still a bright spot for them. And now in this game 2, absolutely the key carry.
Well, Lulu has been damn good so far for Immortals. And honestly, I'm just looking forward to see more. Because so far, what we've seen out of this guy, I mean, the Silas was crazy. He's been playmaking on Azir. He got some help to get a lead mid, but he's really cashed in on his own. I think that's always a sign of a good player, right? What can you do with a lead that you've been given by a teammate? Balulu's been doing a lot with it in this game. And IMT, again, I mean, this has been... It's fire. They're on perfect game territory right now, Kangas.
I had not even noticed. 0 kills, 0 turrets, 0
well, it's NACL.
Objectives.
We don't expect perfection, but sometimes it happens, you know?
Ah, true. Good point. Can they do what could not be done in LCS this past week? TSM looking for 1 kill. Can they get that one? Haunter actually riposts the Emperor's Divide. Oh. But can he catch up to Balulu? Chad in trouble.
He has a ward to jump to. Oh.
He gets hit by the Chain of Corruption. Chad goes down. Is Haunter traded? Haunter burning. Levels up, and I think that actually saved him. I'm pretty sure Joey went for the Leandri's first item, and Haunter might have died there if he didn't hit level 13. But either way, TSM get their first kill of the game.
No perfect game, but it's still damn clean for IMT as ADD is shoving into the top side. We have a TP from Balulu mid to keep up the pressure. Keep in mind, IMT, even with the poke bot lane, they can check Baron when they'd like. There is enough DPS between Azir plus Graves to think about it. I don't think they want to take that risk. They don't really need to do Baron. I expect IMT to just wait for the last dragon to secure that for Soul. And that's going to be their game from there. As, again, the only thing that can really get TSM out of this is Haunter splitting, but ADD has been a good job of keeping him down.
And that's 2 minutes, 20 seconds for the Dragon Soul. I'm not looking at any big item breakpoints that TSM can look to farm to. By that time, I don't think anybody's going to complete another legendary item, so... Maybe they can look for an earlier setup around the objective, fish for things like the Zoe bubbles, because honestly, we have seen a very quiet game from Doxa so far in terms of finding these picks. Haunter in the 1v1, decently trading against ADD here, but outside of the side lane, yeah, there just hasn't been a lot of action for TSM overall.
See Chad taking control here. IMT, they really are taking hard control over the Baron area. I just don't know, like, if they should start it. Like, do you need to? Given the lead and how clean this game has been, that is a real question you ask, especially when you have, you know, a poke 80 carry and not anyone who's on hit, right? We'll see if IMC feels like they need to get feisty at all around this objective. I really don't think they do. But again, we are starting to get to the stage of the game where Fiora is getting enough levels to take over in this side lane. So, ADD doing his best to keep the Fiora down. I think AD's had a really nice game, but there isn't much he can do at this point of the game to keep Fiora from winning in that 1v1.
You reach a break point eventually against the Fiora where it's just not going to happen. And it's wise to not try and force anything. You can give an outer turret. That's fine. You know, you're still ahead on the map. You're waiting 45 seconds for the dragon. We have resets from everybody from Immortals. They are preparing for the inevitable Dragon Soul fight here, and they're actually going to be first to the objective.
Yeah, sales favor Immortals as racing towards this part of the map. The knots are in their favor as they enter the river. And we will see if TSM can do anything with this Ashe, this Zoe, and this Jhin poke as... Do we see a fish? Nice block by Chad. That was a really small thing from Chad, but very clever just to stop that deadly flourish. Just in case, there's anyone, Svenskaren's behind him, not spotted, anything like that. Any shenanigans going on. But Svenskaren will now be spotted. And IMT have a great setup for this.
TSM are pushing through the mid wave. But Svenskaren is spotted here. We're looking at TSM's vision. They don't know where anybody on Immortals are. They know that they're on the Dragon. It's at half health. They're going to have to jump in there. Doxa over the wall with the portal. Curtain Call's pulled up. Damage is traded. Svenskaren's into the pit. He's looking for the steal, and he's down. It's traded for Joey. Dragon Soul secured for Chad. Balulu jumps in, does not throw out the Emperor's Divide, but gets the flash out of Doxa.
Well played from IMT. They will happily trade their support for Soul. And given the health bars being low on the side of TSM, they're at least going to posture for the Baron. Again, I don't know if it's best for them to start it, but given the fact that ADD's group and Haunter is pushing, I think they will start it to see if they can pull Haunter's TP. Now, let's see how disciplined TSM is here. There is no smite available, so they're just going to burst it down.
Oh, that's a bubble onto Balulu. Can they get damage onto Balulu to follow up? No, Haunter was not there close enough.
Chad's still on it.
Wild Turtle was not there either to get the damage. That is Baron secured. Now let's watch the exit path for Immortals Challenger. They actually might just exit their way through TSM. Joey's back on the map. Immortals, they don't want to force the place. They back off.
Well played. I like how aggressive IMT was. Again, I don't think Baron was 100% needed for them on that one, but hey, Smite's down. Balulu is level 15, and they had enough to shut it down as Joey's going to get one-tapped here. 671. That's not bad here from Wild Turtle, but again, great support for Dragon. Tough game for TSM. Very far behind at this point. I also really like the Gale Force away from Turtle. Small thing, but I think he dodged out on the Shurima Shuffle and saved his flash from Balulu, who is still having a massive game.
And the side lane is still in favor of TSM Challengers but now Immortals with the Soul, with the Baron buff, they can look to probably crack an inhibitor realistically here if they have the right setup right now. I think that's big for Haunter to get that turret up at the top side and shove that in because it delays the Baron push, but Wixie gets the tier 2 in the mid lane, and now we're starting to look at some of these inhibitors. It's still early in the game. It's crazy. I think it's only 25 minutes into this one. But with Baron for another couple minutes here, let's watch the approach.
Oh, that's an arrow.
And they followed up with a bubble. No bubble! Onto Chad. I don't know if that's already thrown out earlier.
Good.
Sven jumps all the way back there, but he doesn't have the follow-up of the team yet. Does he have the damage himself to take down Chad? Chad is drain taking. Curtain Call. One more shot. Chad's out of there. And Svenskaren goes down, went so deep into enemy territory, just looking for it. Turtle will finally hunt down Chad. Shotgun versus pistol sniper. Well, Wixie will go on a rampage, taking out Wild Turtle, and ADD will chase down Dragku Haunter, the last remaining member of TSM Challenger, and this might just be the game-ending push.
Yeah, it's going to be a 1-1 split here from the looks of things from our two lowest Challengers teams in the standings. And I gotta say, I think each team, there are some things they can build off of in this best of two, Kangas, because that first game, TSM, they played a little bit of a different style than what we've seen, playing through bot. They played it nice and slow, used their poke really well. This time around, IMT, they knew they had to make some plays early, or else they would get split down by Fiora at the later stages. I love the hover from ADD, and Balulu continues to show that he's going to be someone to look out for in this league as he gets picked by an arrow, potentially.
Yeah, ooh.
Okay.
First damage onto ADD. Does not have a lot of magic.
Nothing else.
So Dox actually can do some poke, but yeah, no follow-up. No extra damage. TSM have so many pick tools, but they're not layering them on top of each other. Imagine Doxa has the bubble. When that Ash arrow lands, Chad dies in TSM Challenger's jungle, and then maybe they can look to push for more when they have a 5v4. But it's those little things. If you don't have the layered CC on top of each other, utilizing your pick tools to their fullest extent, Immortals Challengers, they can just get away, get back onto their side of the map. And now it's just about how quickly can they close out this game, because it's going to be ending soon.
Yeah, IMC don't want those monster objectives to spawn. They just want to make sure that things end now. We'll say Zoe. Quite a bit of wave clear. Given that you are Zoe, but I think the fact that Balulu's up a full item and a half on the Zoe feels good, as that Shadow Flame just got finished. Rather late for the Zoe. Not ideal. 10k gold lead for IMT. They're looking to put the finishing touches on this one now.
ADD underneath the turret starts off the fight and just all out. Pulls in Doxa. They got the damage from everybody else, and Hanser's trying to get onto the back line. The solo mission on Fiora saying, wait a minute, this is not what my champion is ideally suited for. And yeah, we empathize with the Immortals Challengers, roaring back in the series with double kills and a final one for Balulu, 409 on the Azir. Popping off the solo lanes from Immortals overall looking so clean in this game number 2. And they will even up the series 1-1, maintaining their lead over TSM Challengers.
I gotta say, I know IMT, it's their first full week as a team. They go 2-2 this week, splitting both of their series. That's something to build off of. Again, 1 week of practice, 2 good bounce backs in game 2 as well. That's something where IMT, can take this to the bank, continue to try and climb in the Challenger standings. As IMT, they've done some decent things early in the season without having their full team in. Now that it is in, really excited to see where this team can go.
I gotta say, I'm just so impressed by the solo laners again. Oftentimes going into the Immortals games, we like to highlight Chad just because he's so distinct in his style.
Yeah.
He's, a pretty hype prospect in the developmental scene in North America. Wixie's exciting to follow as well. But it's these solo laners that are really standing out to me right now.
Yeah.
Kavia's like, all right, now going into next week, that's who I want to be focusing on.
I think that was one of the better series that we've seen from ADD as he's getting, into this league. And for Balulu, he's been a big standout for me. I liked some of his tape in the TCL, but, his willingness to make plays is something that's very exciting for me as a mid laner. And I feel like he's shown a nice balance to showing an understanding for how to play Azir, play out the lane states well, but also when to go aggressive, where I think he really excels. And I always love to see that out of our players, for better or worse. And Balulu's been doing it for better so far. So hope that continues.
Well, it was a 1-1 series, which means they tied. But of course, whoever wins game 2 is who we get the interview with. So we're going to send it to a short break before we are back with Mazel interviewing one of the victorious members of Immortals after this.
Welcome to another episode of On the Range. Now, we've been acquiring a lot of land, but it's time for these critters to start marking their territory. One of the most active has been Evil Genius's Shaden. Let's see if we can catch him, shall we? I think I see him right over there.
All right, sorry, what were you saying we got to think about as Shaden is getting picked right now? Never mind. I think he's going to 1v3 here. He's got enough to drain tank. Goo's dead. Double kill to Shaden in a 1v3. Are you kidding me? Lunasia's trying to jump in there, but not with Robbie Bob's help. That's an easy triple to Shaden.
A little bit tricky right here. Robbie Bob does have the heroic entrance. Justice Punch gets the knock about NXI. NXI trying to get away. Camille getting in with the ultimatum. 1-for-1 trade. Still going forward is going to be Evil Geniuses. And Shaden will tear apart the backline with a triple kill for the Geniuses.
Some critters you gotta wrestle, but some critters you just gotta dance. Alrighty, now we're gonna teach you the para-carry. So first, you grab your cowboy hat, you're looking for prey. You're looking for prey. Then you gotta get your lasso ready, get it real tight now. Wind that sucker up and let it go. But freeze! And do a little dance, do a little dance, do a little dance, do a little dance. And now you've learned the para-carry.
Control of their own side of the map. At least Yuji is able to steal away that. Oh, he gets it! What? What? One block. He's only ever his plays before he can actually. He's alive. They are the team
Really
to
good.
beat.
You have 2 abilities that can proc it.
There's no mechanical misplay.
Anytime
Front lane and now Jimenez. Oh,
I'm in here. He wants the hoon going down right now. Looks
through the split. And oh boy.
Oh,
Woo-wee! These critters starting to establish themselves out there. They're still gonna need some wrestling though. Make sure you come by next time for another episode of On the Range now. You hear? Woo! Welcome back, everyone, to the Verizon post-game interview here with the LCS Challengers League. I'm joined by Wixie, the Immortals Progressive Challengers bottom laner, and my man, after a good comeback win here. It's got to feel good to round out the week, but also what feels good is to have a support structure. I know we got to see you and your dad's picture. It looked all cute and wholesome, but what's that support structure been like for you, man?
I mean, it's been amazing. This past year, my dad has always been supportive of like what I want to pursue, and I don't know, he's always a big fan of sports, so he kind of sees it in a similar way, and he's always supporting me even when I had no team and I was playing like amateur. He was always like watching my games, and he was always proud, so I appreciate him a lot.
Love to hear that. Love to hear that. Let's talk about that journey a little bit, though. You were very vocal about the struggles for last year and not being able to find that team, and you've now come into Immortals Progressive Challengers and with that full start with Joey, somebody who's been very structured and stable in the past in the league. So what's that been like for you, man?
I think it's been quite like a unique experience. You know, I've never had like so many players with so much experience on my team. Like we have like 3.5 veterans. I mean, like Max is not really a veteran, aka Chad Jungle. He's like really smart though. So I think being on a team with a bunch of people who are like super smart about the game is like, you know, something that I've never really had before. I've just been on teams with like, you know, newer players like myself, and I've been learning a lot from them, so I appreciate it.
That's really nice to hear. And speaking of your team, you guys are all together now. You've gotten the week of scrims together finally. What's it feel like, and what's it been like trying to get everybody on the same page?
Yeah, our scrims, like our first scrims together as a team, have been pretty successful. We've been winning a lot of our scrims. It's just the matter that we have to translate that into match day and get like favorable picks for ourselves and be comfortable. I think that's our number one priority to work on our results.
Do you have any favorite aspects of the team so far working with all these guys?
Yeah, I mean, I love these guys because I can just trash talk them every day. I mean, mostly I can't beat them though. Like I always lose the banter war. So they always pick on me. So because I'm also a noob and I'm not that smart, so it's easy. But it's been super fun. I can kind of just like fuck with them or mess with them like every day.
You're good.
So I like it.
Do you guys do anything for team bonding? I know, like especially you guys had like the ping pong table and stuff in there last year at least. But do they still have anything fun for you guys to do together?
I think it's still ping pong. Our ping pong team right now is like the best out of any team ever. Like we have like 4-star players in ping pong. We're pretty insane. And our coach Draxer, he's like he used to play professionally in college.
Oh wow!
So he's actually
is he in there coaching you guys on ping pong? Oh my god!
Balulu's like his #1 student, and like now Balulu's a god. He just became a god out of nowhere. So
well, we just found out that we need to have a ping pong tournament with all the NACL teams. This is gonna be insane.
We'll win for sure. Yeah.
Oh, that's actually incredible. Dock that one for later. Now we did hear that your favorite animal is a capybara, so we had our reasons why we thought it was. Now, will you tell us the actual reasons?
I think the actual reason is the meme okay pull up. I always love that meme. I love the capybaras, and I love how they bathe really peacefully. Like I just want to be in a hot tub one day with a capybara and chill. You know, it sounds like really peaceful. So
the little smiles get me every time. Every single time.
I like when they eat stuff too. Their faces are so like, cubed. I like it.
I could sit here and talk to you about animals all day, but Wixie, you're getting the stage here. I'm going to give you a little bit of space. What do you got to say to all the Wixie fans out there?
Well, for any Wixie fans out there, I hope you keep supporting me. I think our team is definitely going to scale up really strong into the season. I can already feel it, and with just 1 week of practice, I feel like we're already improving, and look forward to some 4-0 weeks in the future.
I'd love to hear it. And you got any shout-outs for anybody?
Shout out my team. I appreciate all of them. They're working really hard, and it's been a blast talking with them about the game and playing with them in general. Every day of scrims is like actually really enjoyable, so appreciate my team.
Thank you so much, man. I'll be hitting you up about a ping pong tournament hopefully in the near future. Thanks, man. We'll talk to you soon. We're going to send it away to a little break while we get ready for our final series of the day, so don't you miss it.